Okay, guys, this video I wanted to do, I got inspired to do it from last week as I was doing another video on researching the Selenelian moon that occurred last week on the full moon. But anyway, this is where I'm trying to prove why I've been wrong on my days here in Cooterville. And here we go. Last week I did a video of the lunar eclipse at, at sunrise. It was talking more about it was research that I went into to show that you can see the darkness of the moon moving from the top down, and and my what convinced me that this couldn't happen on a spherical type Earth. It would have to be something darkening the moon that's other than the Earth itself for this to happen. So, through this work research last week, and just some of the folks that are, that live in the area where I live, there's been discussion on when the new moon was, and regrettably, the 6th and 8th months of this year, we've had terrible weather as far as being able to have clarity. So I've had to rely on stellarium. So when I relied on stellarium, though, I'm kind of anal in what I do. So anyway, I was believe it or not, after 6 or 7 years of using stellarium, I never did recognize my mistake. And I was, because of my research on last week's video, I was able to see why my mistake was here. So it started out with my discussion with others about November the 8th being the new moon day. And so this is a great friend of mine that I study with, hired. He was in Birmingham, Alabama. He took this photo with his, I think this was an Android camera. You see where the white circle is. You can vaguely see, but you can see the darkness of the moon is still, it's in its waning stage of that selenelian portion of the moon, that darkness of the moon. But anyway, it was at this time it appeared to be above the horizon at daylight, because you can see the pinkness of the sky over in the west is imperative of the sun appearing from the east and shining on the moon. So this was a great photo that was sent to me that helped me get to do this video today. Here's the video that off that same camera. It's an Android camera. As you can see here in the white circle, again, the darkness of the moon. It's still pretty well dark. You can see just the top crescent of the moon on this day, on the 8th of the beastly date of November in Birmingham, Alabama. So I'm going to play the video for you. It's only 46 or 47 seconds long. It might get you a little dizzy, but it's a good witness for New Moon Day on the November the 8th.
The moon is still up, and the evidence of the rising sun is everywhere. Look at the sunshine on the clouds. We've got a lot of cloud cover to the east. That red line. Sunrise. Back to the moon. Still visible. Don't show up very well on the camera, but it's very visible to the eye.
Okay, so here's where my anility, being anal, got me in trouble. I've always went to stellarium and you looked at the altitude without the atmosphere and Earth. as you can see here on November the 8th, now this is Birmingham. I went to Birmingham to get this information where I could compare it to the photo and video that my great friend shared. But anyway, we have here at 11 on the 11/8/2022 at 6:15:14. The altitude of the moon was negative below that blue line there, which is the horizon. So this screenshot here is altitude without atmosphere and Earth added. Then I took a shot of this, or pointed to the sun at the same time, again on 11/8/2022 at 6:15:14. Again, this is altitude without atmosphere and Earth. And we got negative 0.16 degrees. So out of these two shots, two same times, I would have sat here and argued with folks that this was not what I saw as New Moon Day. I always saw that the sun and moon had to each greet each other visibly above the horizon. And I was going to stellarium, and I was using this view without the atmosphere and Earth. So if we look here, notate the time is about 1.5 minutes earlier than the last. So we've subtracted about 1.5 minutes off the last screenshot on the previous slide. And you can see here now the sun is 0.33 degrees. So we basically went 0.17 degrees lower below the horizon on this particular screenshot. Now let's look what happens when you add the atmosphere. Notate the same time, but with the atmosphere and Earth added. You have an apparent horizon where the sun is showing above the horizon here. Apparent. I looked up the word apparent in etymology. It just means indisputable, clearly understood, easily seen or perceived, evident, obvious, visible, manifest, appear, come in sight. And as the photo and video that was shared to me, it was apparent. It was apparent to me through that. I'm a visual guy, and I just had to get that visual of that photo and that video to help me to know that I was wrong here, and to help me use the tools that we have today at our fingertips when we don't have good visual because of weather or such, and we don't want to rely on other people's locations. We want to rely on our own. So and as y'all know, my location I call Cooterville, Texas. So I always try to get my New Moon Day for Cooterville, Texas. But because of the photo and video, it made me understand. It was eye-opening last week as I was doing that last video that I said, oh my, I said out of the 6 or 7 years I've been doing this, and I never noticed that word apparent there on the screen. I never had. And I can't believe I've never seen it before. But again, it's because I was being so anal about setting the sun right above the horizon, and it was a moon still visible. But that was without the atmosphere, and with the atmosphere, it changes things. So here's a shot of the same time as the slide before, and it's the moon. And see, we have the moon at 0.42 degrees above the horizon, and it's already, if you notice, it's a waning gibbous there, which means it's already went full, which that night, earlier that night or later that night, you had a blood red moon. Again, we were not able to witness this here in Cooterville, but our friends in Birmingham, Alabama were able to see it, and then got up the next morning and did this video. So we knew it went full earlier that night, and then we could still see the darkness of the moon still coming out of its blood red moon stage. So we had Wayne and Gibbous, and I'd seen that I'd seen the 100% before, and I'd argued that that's not what you go by. You have to go by the two lights of the sun and moon visible above your horizon wherever you're located. But yet I was doing it without the atmosphere, and realistically, to get your apparent horizon, you've got to put the atmosphere in there. So from now on, I will be doing that on all future months of observing New Moon Day. Let's look at the next. Here, if you look, this is the moon at the same time again in same stage. It's 0.42 degrees. Still above the horizon. This blue down at the bottom is the horizon. It's showing the apparent altitude. Again, it's Wayne and Gibbous. And to our next screen, and let's compare this photo that our friends shot in Birmingham on November the 8th. Again, showing the darkness of the moon. You can see that slight crescent at the top. And compare this photo with the next shot. And as you can see, stellarium is almost, and I don't know if this was the same exact time. It could have been, I could be a couple minutes earlier, couple minutes late. I don't know the exact time of the photo, but the photo and the video alone convinced me that the sun had appeared and had greeted the moon that day. And of course, with stellarium here, it showed me that you have to have your atmosphere in there to make sure you're if you're not able to see it here physically where you're located, then if you're using stellarium, which I think is the most accurate application out there, that you have to put the horizon in there. And so I hope this explains why I've been wrong. I apologize for anybody that I've led astray in this portion of it. And just keep on searching for the truth. I've been corrected here. I've been, sometimes I let my anility get the best of me. And it's not a good, it's good to analyze things, but it's not good to be anal to that point. And plus strong-minded like I am, and all my friends know how strong-minded I am. So anyway, again, I apologize to anybody that I've led astray. Now I want to prove why I believe I've been right about the beginning of Yahuwah's days versus the beginning of the beast days. And I'm going to prove this by looking at the Diomede Islands. The Diomede Islands includes Little Diomede on the left here on this photo, and Big Diomede on the right. The one on the left is the USA. The one on the right is Russia. And this is viewed from the north looking south. So that's why you would have it on the left and US on the left and Russia on the right, because it's not viewed from the south looking north. So these are two islands here. I got that information from Wikipedia. Then from Earth Observatory, I found a article called Yesterday and Tomorrow Islands. These two islands are just 3.8 kilometers or 2.4 miles separated from each other. So that means Russia and USA are 2.4 miles apart from each other. From the Seattle Times, I found an article called The International Dateline That Splits U.S.-Russia Explained. And the islands of Big Diomede in Russia and Little Diomede in the United States are separated by 2.4 miles of water, with the international date line running midway between them. While I'm at it, that 2.4 miles between them, with this photo, that would mean we're probably looking at about approximate 15 miles of photo there from water edge to water edge. And with the circumference of the Earth at 15 miles, that's going to be over 100 foot of curvature, and I don't see the curvature. Does anyone see the curvature here? Where's the curvature? So this is a good photo to prove that the Earth is not on their figures for their curvature. I don't know the exact shape of the Earth, but I can tell you for sure all the water I've ever seen is laid flat, and so there's no measurable curvature in this photo here. What is the international dateline? The international dateline is an imaginary line on the Earth's surface defining the boundary between one day and the next. Now, I've done an earlier video. I got this from timeanddate.com, by the way, but I did this on an earlier video showing the craziness. Now, this is man's. Now, on your right, past the red line, that's today. And past it to the left side of that red line is tomorrow. So this is the craziness of man's. Look at the plus 14 in the time zone there, and the plus 13. Look at the craziness of that. Even look up between Alaska and Russia. Look at the zigzagging going on there just south of it and just north of it. So you got Alaska in minus 11 UTC, and then we got a portion of Russia in minus 11 UTC and also in plus 12 UTC. So we have quite a bit of craziness going on with the international dateline. Now, I wanted to find out the latitude and longitude for Big Diomede, so I went to this website here, findlatitudeandlongitude.com. You can see here that Big Diomede Island is mapped. It's the larger island. It's got the blue location sign there, and I got the latitude and longitude from there. When I went to Stellarium and I punched in those that latitude longitude, it would not go exactly to the degree that from the previous website that I'd got it from. As you can see here, where the red arrow is, that's where they're saying that Big Diomede Island is. I know that that's not where it is, but that is in eastern Russia. But that would be on the left side or tomorrow's side of the international dateline. Now notate the date and time plus the UTC and apparent altitude. So this is on November the 9th, 2022 at 8:24 and 11. Okay, 8:24 and 11 seconds. So this would be new moon day based on where the moon is. It's above the horizon by 3 degrees. Okay, by the apparent horizon. And this is in the UTC plus 11.15 here. So you see here that it's plus 11 UTC. Again, notate the day. It's 11:9. Now earlier we were showing you Birmingham and it was on 11:8, but here in Russia we're showing it on 11:9, and this would have been what we would consider new moon day. Now, if we look at Little Diomede, I went to the same website, findlatitudeandlongitude.com, found Little Diomede Island's latitude and longitude, or approximate. I don't think it's exactly where this is located here, but as you can see, that red line there, that's the international date line, and Little Diomede Island is what they call yesterday or today's time. And then the left of that on Big Diomede would be tomorrow's time. So just that 2.4 miles between them, there's a day, shows a day difference in them. Here you go on the Stellarium map. We have Little Diomede Island. As you can see, it's in the western parts of Alaska there. Again, I don't believe this is exactly on the island, because once I put in the latitude, longitude, it would not exactly put the same numbers in there. So I know there's possibly they're not on the Stellarium. They're not registering. Even when you try to search for Big Diomede, you can't find it. These are I added this to the list, to my list in Stellarium, so that's why you're seeing it down in the bottom there, highlighted with underneath, called the Little Diomede Island there. So this was my own setup. So again, I don't think this is exactly the same latitude longitude, but yet it's going to still prove my point about we cannot base our days off of the international date line. We have to go by what the calendar above us, the sun, moon, and stars tell us from above. So now notate the date and time. We've got November the 8th, 2022 at 8:23:43. So we're just about the same hour and minute and seconds, but we're one day earlier. And look at the apparent altitude of the moon. It's at plus 2 degrees or plus 2.4, however you want to look at that. Now you can see it's at UTC minus 11.15. So we have a completely different time zone. Again, they're only 2.4 miles apart. And we'll look at this final slide here, and we've got the Little Diomede Islands date and time and apparent altitude. So you got plus 2.49 degrees there on Little Diomede. That's on 11/8/2022 at 8:23:43 seconds. 2.4 miles in a day, and about a minute and a half later, you have Big Diomede on November the 9th, 2022 at 8:24:11. It's apparent, the moon's apparent degrees above the horizon is 3.16 degrees. So, guys, we can't go by the international date line. So if somebody else somewhere else is having their new moon day on a different beast date, 1 day difference in their beast date, there's on Yahuwah's day, they're all going to be within the same 24-hour period. So don't put your trust in man's date. Go out and observe the new moons for yourself in your area. Don't depend on anybody else from another area. Go do your own research. Don't depend on me, because I've been wrong many times. The one thing about me, though, when I find out I'm wrong, I don't mind admitting that I'm wrong and apologizing to whoever I've done wrong by being wrong. So anyway, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.